After missing the playoffs last season, the Yankees reloaded this past offseason. But have they done enough to return to the playoffs in 2014? So anytime you're coming off a season where the New York Yankees have missed the playoffs, you expect them to go out in the offseason and reload. And they've certainly done that this past offseason, signing Jacoby Ellsbury, Brian McCann, Carlos Beltran, bringing in Masahiro Tanaka from Japan, getting Michael Pineda back healthy off the disabled list. These are things that are going to help the Yankees this year, and I think the Yanks are primed to have a playoff-type season this year. Don't know if they're going to win the division. I still think the Rays are going to be the division winner this year, but I think the Yankees have sufficiently reloaded to grab one of the 2 wild card spots in the American League. I think their pitching is a little bit of a concern coming into the season. Can CC Sabathia rebound from what for him was a terrible and mediocre season last year to really be that staff ace and number 1 guy again? I think he's going to have to be a different type of pitcher, more of a pitcher, less of a flamethrower. If he can make that adjustment, and if Masahiro Tanaka can come over here and be more Yu Darvish and less Daisuke Matsuzaka, and if Ivan Nova can continue to develop as a young pitcher, and especially Michael Pineda, who I've talked about in a previous clip, being, to me, the key to the Yankees' season pitching-wise in the rotation. He's a young pitcher, a fireballer, and he can make all the difference in the world for the Yankees this year and really put them over the top. And I believe that he will do that this season and be the kind of pitcher they expected when they got him from the Seattle Mariners a couple seasons ago. You know, losing Robbie Cano is going to be a big factor, though, for the Yankees. No matter how many good players they've brought in, like Ellsbury and McCann and Beltran, they're going to miss Robbie Cano. There's no question about it. He was by far their best player last season. And at certain points this year, you're going to see that Cano is going to be missed in that lineup. And a big factor also is the first baseman, Mark Teixeira. He needs to bounce back and be healthy and have the kind of power-hitting seasons that he's had in the past. If he's able to do that, I don't think the Yankees are going to miss Cano all that much when you mix Teixeira being healthy in with guys like McCann and Ellsbury and Beltran and even Brett Gardner, who's probably going to be primed for a pretty good season. I think if Teixeira's good, the Yankees will be good in the lineup, and the loss of Cano will not be felt as much. So he's going to be very much a guy that's watched at first base. Third base is going to be a problem for the Yankees. Kelly Johnson is the starter over there. They don't really have many more answers besides him at third base. And who knows what kind of season he's going to have. He's never been a superstar type player, so it's going to be a position that the Yankees are going to have to watch, and I'm sure it's going to be a concern all season. Second base, Brian Roberts is going to replace Cano, at least initially, but it's only a matter of time, you know, before this guy's going to get injured, and that's going to be another problem, I think, for the Yankees. Derek Jeter, he's getting older at 40 at shortstop. It's going to be interesting to see in his farewell season if he can stay healthy and what kind of season he's going to have. The bullpen, of course, it's not going to be as good just for the fact that they don't have the great Mariano Rivera anymore. I'm very interested to see if David Robertson is going to be able to handle his closer role. It's going to be very hard to be Rivera. Nobody's ever going to be him. But can Robertson be, say, 80% of what Rivera was and be one of the top 5 closers in baseball? I'm not sure that he's got the tools to do it. We'll have to wait for the season to play out to see if I'm right or wrong. So, you know, as I'm talking about the Yankees and I'm saying I think they're going to be a wild card, I do realize they have a lot of questions. But I think they have the answers to those questions. I think Ellsbury will have a good season for them in center field despite his nagging injuries in spring training. McCann will be a very, very productive and leadership type force behind the plate. So I think the Yankees are primed for a good season, and I think they're going to grab one of the 2 wild cards in the American League this season. But for you guys out there, as you look at the Yankees this season, what are your thoughts on for what will happen with them this season? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red. Don't forget to check out my blog at BoSoxInjection.com and follow me on Twitter at ThisWeekinRed.